I could realize that it wasn't properly aligned. There we go, there we go, there we go. I knew there was something wrong. So imagine that. You will see why I support that. And I think the United States acts correctly with those things. Right besides the police department. Okay? The third one. We have like 23, something like that, for the capital. Saturday. In order to steal the bronze of the door hang, right? Hang on a second. The bronze of the door hang, like what you grab when you open a door, pretty much. That is made of bronze in a lot of cases, or silver or whatever. In this case, it's bronze. A delinquent tried to remove the bronze of the publicist said this is gonna be a civil war in the US. No, it's not going to be any civil war. And the clowns that are which one? The Black Panthers, I think they were, something like that. Yeah. I suggest they try doing that. No, Patrick, don't get fooled. All of these people are the same people that caused civil unrest in Cuba, in Venezuela, in the same. These people are the same. They are idiots sent by China to destroy the United States from within. Now, people might think, hey, you are exaggerated, Eraser. I would be exaggerated if it weren't the fact that I saw them the same very way of acting in my country. The difference is that in the United States they terminate the threats. But here we had the same. So when you have the same across, and it was the same in Chile, right here, it's the same in Germany, it's the same in the main capitals of Europe, it's the same in the main capitals of South America, it's the same in Canada. They are the same people sent by China to destabilize the United States, as they know there's no other way they can possibly fool the rest of the world. There's no other way they can trick the rest of the world into thinking they have any other chance of beating the United States in an open conflict. So since they cannot do that, they do it from the inside. How? Hiring these criminals. George Floyd was a criminal because he looted a store, and this person was a criminal because she tried to kill an agent in a police control. The same people, the same psychopaths. And the second one had a gun on his waist as they shot him when he was trying to separate the woman to defend the woman or whatever the fuck he was trying to do. He carried a gun. So if you carry a gun, or you you grab your car, you start driving, you get stopped at a police control, and at the police control they tell you to stop, and while you're stopped you start screaming like they do, and etc. And then you accelerate the car with the agent on your hood. What do you think is going to happen, honestly? We've all gone crazy, that's the problem. Not all of us. These people have gone crazy. They have forgotten how society works, and they're psychopaths. If you get stopped at a police control, of course you are meant to stop your car and wait for what the agent is going to say. The problem is that these people know that they go to jail. That they will go to jail for life for all of the things they've done. It's not if it was a normal person, people, do you think there would be a circle of other protesters recording with the cell phone right from every single angle. No, it's done on purpose. It's done on purpose. These people are puppets of China to destroy the US from within, as they know perfectly that in an open conflict they would be obliterated in 5 seconds. So since China knows that, they hire these criminals, and you must be thinking, well, Eraser, but it's because you are conservative or whatever. No, it's not because I am conservative. In my country, it's the same. They hire the same people to do the same, and then they do the same. Then they cry when the police officers don't kill. Here we don't kill anyone because we use, like, how do I put it? Here they destroyed our security so much that police officers fear going to jail for firing not a real weapon. Hang on. Here the police officers at protests don't use weapons, real weapons that kill people. They use weapons that shoot um, rubber bullets. Rubber bullets, you know, that they just, it hits you, but it doesn't penetrate the skin. It just, like, hits. It doesn't penetrate the skin. It just, like imagine I grab a ball and I throw it like this very fast at your legs. It's something like that, but a bit stronger. So we don't use real weapons. We cannot use also the tasers, the electric weapons yet. We are about to bring them back. They were prohibited. So they cannot use electricity. They cannot use real weapons. They use rubber rifles here. And you know what happens in our protests? I'll give you the mirror of the United States. When they use the rubber bullets, the police officers are the ones that get hurt instead. So, do you want that for your society, regardless of your country? If the answer is no, then the United States is right. It's right. They need to use real weapons, and if you avoid the police control and you resist an arrest, of course you have to get shot. Of course you have to get shot. Of course. To preserve order. Because it's something that no one reasonable would do. Would you grab a car and try to crash into a police agent? No, you wouldn't. No one normal would do it. Only criminals think of doing that before doing so. So that's why. And as I tell you, it's not just the United States. The same happens in Cuba. The same happens in Venezuela. Happens in Chile. It happens in every single country. The same. They have a. There. I have images. There are public images in Argentina. Once they stole the manual. They recovered the manual from one of them. One of them was carrying a manual, and it said, "Point 1." This is not a joke. Now I read, Patrick. But people argue that the agent could have avoided the car with one step and not executing the woman. Yeah, but it's not the case, Patrick. It's not the case. It's not the case. Because you can say that after a week of analyzing it from home. It's what I told. I think I mentioned it to you some other day. I love it when people use that line of reasoning on TV or etc. How much time did you have to come to that conclusion? A week, 2 weeks of analyzing it, etc. The agent had half a second that he was in front of the car and it started accelerating. Half a second. That's the part that they never say. How much time do you think the agent had to react to it? Half a second. In half a second, what do you estimate the brain is able to deduce as to do that which you are, or the press, the TV, the people on TV are saying? It is simply not possible. In half a second, I told you the biological reaction of the body. Imagine that you have the car right in front of you, like he had it, and she accelerates. In half a second, the brain doesn't only has time only has time, and barely, to move the blood from the rest of the body, localize it in the arms and the legs to run fast. It's pretty much all it can do. Doesn't even think. It's an instant reaction, nothing else. It's an instant reaction as the car is accelerating. Do you think it is fair to say that in half a second that the car accelerated with him on the hood of it? Do you really think it's fair to say that he executed people because he is some kind of bloodthirsty monster or whatever they are saying? No, no, because people always talk about this from the comfort of home 1 week after it happens and etc. No, one thing is to say that District, how's it going, District? How's it going? Sorry that I started late to you as well, as I told you, Patrick. As you can see, we are in the middle of American shootings as the main topic. How are you doing, District? How are you doing? How's life going for you, District? That I haven't seen you in a lot. Pretty much. Think about the time. The time. And I told you. So here at my home, they try to steal the door hang, right? And nothing happens to them. They just keep going, and they don't go to jail, and nothing happens to them. That is why we don't even think about going to the police officer, because they are not gonna do anything. So that is why it is correct what the agent did. It is correct. Because in half a second, as a person resists an arrest and it's accelerating into the body of an agent, it is a natural and expected reaction. Because no one reasonable would do it. That is the thing. It is easy to then draw conclusions from a TV set like they do. No, you need to be there to judge. You need to be there. And they are not there. In half a second, as I told you, when things like this happen, that the police agent has to react in a matter of seconds as they expect, they don't tell you the biological reaction of the body. The blood goes to the arms and your legs. So he runs fast and shoots fast, or whatever fast, or climbs fast. Is the only biological natural reaction. So I think that's why I think it's not fair to say that. And I think it acted perfectly in both. They both acted perfectly in both cases, because in the other case he also had a weapon. So I envy the police of the United States. I envy it. And it's not that like they say, oh, Nazi police or whatever. No, that's not being Nazi. That is a person who accelerated into the body of a police agent in the middle of a control. We need to go back to normality. That is crazy. No one would have done that in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s. No one that isn't a criminal, of course. If it's a drug trafficker, yes. But it's a normal person wouldn't have done that. Why does this person, in case she was normal and not a puppet of China, as I described, why did she do it? Why did she do it? If she's not a puppet of China, not a protester paid to do it and cause the civil unrest on purpose, then the only logical deduction is that she did it because of how distorted our society ended up being after Obama, thinking that you can accelerate into a police agent and nothing is going to happen. Eraser, you should check Flying Energy's streams. We talked about you today. We only saw you there one time. Focus, Eraser, something big is coming. No, what do you mean? Well, first of all, check Flying Energy's stream. You talked about me. We only saw you there one time. I mentioned it, District. I mentioned it, District. I mentioned something big is coming. It's not that I do not visit Flying Energy's streams because of me being ungrateful. No, never. I am completely grateful to him. It's just that I do feel that the Cresta, the Lumen. This was a big thing. Hi, how are they? We were precisely talking Flying Energy District was talking to me about you precisely. I hold you unseen bees coming. Okay, okay. Flying Energies, thank you from the bottom of my heart. District was talking to me. And I was talking about police brutality. District was talking to me. Now I read it, Patrick. I saw your message. I told you something. Well, thank you, Flying Energies, from the bottom of my heart. I was precisely telling to District FBI, the Cresta. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was precisely telling District Flying Energies that uh, that I precisely do not visit you more frequently because I feel, and I say it openly, that precisely I feel that when small streamers participate in big chat, in streamers with bigger chats and audience, I feel they are doing them a disservice. That is not honest about their intentions and etc. It's not because of me being ungrateful. Huh? It's because of that I mentioned to you the very first time, because he was telling me that I only visited once. It's not because of that. It's because I feel like that. Thumbs up, Zedich. It's because of that, and I say it openly and honestly like I did last time. It's not because of that. It's because I feel you work hard for your own audience and your work, and I feel it's an absolute, it's a lack of respect, just with a smaller audience, visiting you frequently like that. I say it openly, but it's not because I am ungrateful. I thank you every day of how many times you rated me and how much of a big heart you have, that you always visited me and etc. In that sense, I feel like that. It's how I feel about it. I really do not like, in that sense, appearing on other bigger streamers chat. In that sense, it took me a lot to do it that day, just to prove to you that precisely I wasn't ungrateful. On the other hand, so yeah, he was commenting me about that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart once again for the raid and all the love you show for me. In that sense, same for you. As I told you always, I wish if I weren't 5, 6 hours, 4 hours ahead of you, I would probably raid you every day. But the Americas are like that. And I'm East Coast, huh? Imagine if I were West Coast, it would be worse. None of you would be able to watch me. So, Patrick, you were mentioning, in Hungary, one drunk guy stabbed a young guy in a bus station, and the police couldn't do shit legally. They can't beat him nor shoot him. That is like 15 years in jail for that, for the police officer. And the drunk guy stabbed the 19-year-old police officer as well. Well, no, that happened here as well. That we've had people stabbed by random drunk individuals, and the police officer cannot do anything. As I told you, our police officers use rubber bullets. They use rubber bullets instead. They use rubber bullets, not real ones. So there you have your reply about the previous topic. So, well, thank you, District, from the bottom of my heart about focus and those things. Thank you to District and Flying Energies. They are both amazing, like no other. Like no other. True, I need to play Diablo Immortal, for that District asked me about. Oh, the Omega mind tactic is that when criminals beat themselves up and report the police officer. Yeah, well, that one is normal. We are talking about crime people, for those of you who are a bit. we debate about general topics here on stream. In that sense, as I play the games, I generally analyze games, for those of you who are new to the channel. But I'm just doing leisure gameplay as it's the beginning of the year. We are not analyzing Diablo 2. It's a classic. And if anyone has any question, it's MedianXl on Nightmare difficulty. It's just leisure gameplay as I chat with some of my friends here, pretty much. That's the idea. That I debate about society and general culture as I when I don't analyze the games in that sense. Oh, the Omega Mind tactic is that when criminals beat themselves up, then report the police officer. Well, that one is definitely a plague. That one is definitely a plague. That one is definitely a plague. We are by the end playing the Lord of Destruction expansion in that sense, people. So we are just ready to fight Ball. Pretty much I will dedicate today's stream to Ball in that sense, to the Lord of Destruction expansion. So yeah, pretty much in that sense. If anyone has any question, no worries about how the mod operates. It basically adds a lot of quality of life improvements. For Diablo 2, for example, it adds response to all of the monsters in that sense, an overhauled interface, upscale cinematics, and resolution. As you can see, it works at 1440p. I'm running it at 1440p, and you are watching it at 1080p downscaled by Streamlabs. So it upscales the game. That is amazing. And you must be thinking, what's the point of this one if we have resurrected? Well, the thing is that this one added a lot of replayability with the MedianXl mod. For example, the skill tree is expanded, as you can see. You have several skill trees here. Overhauled interface. So it's absolutely amazing. Do not ask Eraser about tattoos. Kick W, most unique opinion. Right. If anyone wants to hear it, yes, but they have to promise they won't get offended. Damn it, you remember that one, Patrick? You remember that one when we did that one? I remember when someone asked about that. No, no. And for the record, Crowbar, who is the oldest active viewer and subscriber, he does have tattoos. He has Half-Life tattoos on his arms, and Doom, and all of the FPS from the 90s. Just for the record. Well, as you can see, they know me very well. For the newcomers, my audience that know me very well, the things that I do. So yeah, pretty much. One of your most iconic quotes for me was, "You are not a clown to entertain your friend all the time." But that one was last week. That one was last week, Patrick. That one is not even one that I said long ago. From you. Okay. From you. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm tired. No worries. Yeah, pretty much. For those of you who don't know, well, you have it in the description. I am from a distant land close to Antarctica. I am from Argentina, but I am also Italian. I have both citizenships. So I am both European and from the Americas. So pretty much, yeah. I feel both cultures intertwined. For those of you who don't know, basically, an Argentine is a Spaniard who is an Italian who speaks Spanish and occasionally aspires to behave like a British. That was a very good definition by one of our most famous authors. Quite accurate though. That shit hit home because I had to learn to entertain. I had to learn entertaining people to not get beaten up in elementary school. You had to learn to entertain people to not get beat up in elementary school. No, that is a terrible. Over at high school or elementary school. Well, I bet we all have our experience of elementary school and high school. But fortunately, in that sense, as I told you, as Italians, we go to. There's two options here in Argentina. It's basically the same as Italy. Either you go to a public atheist school, or you go to a private Catholic school. And private Catholic schools, in that sense, they did have discipline, even if I am atheist and you say it openly, in that sense, I could appreciate the discipline of the Catholic school in that sense. That's the reason. So pretty much, it was because of that. Now it makes sense, Patrick, why you reacted like that the other week, because like I was precisely telling him that one of the great defects of the modern society that I see is that most people think that in order to be a friend of someone or something, you have to entertain them. And when all you can do is entertain someone, well, really, you two are not friends. If it's only entertaining the person. Yes, it can be one component. But not the defining one. But not the defining one. In that sense. Not the defining one. Because if it's all you do, then it's way too shallow as the base of a friendship. And that's what he was asking me about the other day, and precisely why it hit hard, now I see it. We debate, people, we debate about things when I'm not analyzing the games. When I'm not analyzing the games in that sense. So yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's a good part of Twitch, if you think about it. Because you have all of the videos down here and everything regarding the things that I do. In that sense, like analyzing all of the games that you can see. For example, I highly recommend Sacred 2. If any of you like the isometric action RPG games, like Diablo and etc., I recommend Sacred 2, another great German production. And like that, many others. For example, I played Evencast Rise of the Mage, an Austrian production that the level designer visited me over at YouTube. Or, well, in the case of real-time strategy, I have the interview with the developer of Dungeons and Dragons, Greg Shard. Amazing guy. But at the end of the day, I think the best part of Twitch is that it allows us to precisely, through the games, get the opportunity when we can. Hopefully, sadly, not always it's like that. To debate about all of those things, yeah? Because it makes us have deep thoughts, and that expands for example, our library of games. For example, I have recommended games to lots of people, among them especially Hellgate London, Sacred 2 that I mentioned. There are a lot of games that didn't get the spot they deserve, really. For example, another great case is as absolutely underrated that I showcased is one called Advent Rising, which is the predecessor of Mass Effect that few people know about. Advent Rising. And it's really sad that all of those productions, since they are not talked about, we never get that's a good part of Twitch, that you can discover those underrated ones, in that sense. Because the ones that everyone knows, we already know what they can offer. So yeah, that's why you can read that I play underrated games, in that sense. Pretty much. And when I'm not analyzing the games, I analyze things like the relationship between the level design and the gameplay mechanics, the relationship between the usage of potions and the level design, if the game is able to break through the paradigm of min-maxing in the framework of the stat system. That's something that Diablo 3 could never get through, that I that I've highly criticized about it a lot, which means that you effectively eliminate 50% of the gameplay mechanics, since in Diablo 3, if you think about it, all you do is perform attacks, and you can clear the screen in one shot, in that sense. And for example, that's why I like more older games, because I think they are not limited so much by the paradigm of min-maxing in the framework of the stat system. See that I have to retreat here in a lot of cases. Well, ask yourself, when's the last time you did that in Diablo 3? Well, we probably never do it. We never do it because, precisely, it destroys the paradigm of min-maxing. You just exponentially increase the damage of your weapons in Diablo 3, and you just one-shot clear the screen, effectively eliminating 50% of the gameplay mechanics. You don't have to defend. You don't have to worry about your overall health, your evasion chance, your... I don't know, it doesn't matter the naming convention. The philosophy is what matters, in that sense. In that sense. So yeah, pretty much. What is your opinion about commercial television? Oh, I do watch TV. Most of my friends over at Star Wars: The Republic, I also play Star Wars: The Republic, don't watch TV anymore, they say. And most of you probably don't watch traditional TV anymore. By commercial television, I mean you say like traditional TV, that they don't watch it anymore. I do watch traditional TV, especially the news. Now you must be thinking, well, but in my country the news are terrible in traditional TV. Not in Argentina. Not in Argentina. Because in Argentina, how do I put it? It would be difficult to understand depending on your country. In Argentina, traditional TV was always, since the dawn of existence, much more similar to what a stream is nowadays, rather than what you might have been used to before transitioning to streaming news or whatever. It was much more similar to a stream, even if it was on a traditional TV set. Why? Well, because it wasn't so structured. It's not that it wasn't formal, huh? It is formal. People, the TV presenters go on their use their suits and everything, and there's some decorum, of course, to it. But in Argentine traditional TV, in the news, the presenter, like always, always expressed his opinion. It wasn't like given by the company. Like, for example, in the United States, you watch CNN, you know that they support the Democrats. You watch Fox News, and you know that they support Trump and the Republicans. Yeah, pretty much it's that standard. But this one here, define. No, in Argentina, while the channel may have a tendency as a whole, yes, it can happen that in a channel that supports something, there are varying grades of political stances. For example, like you can have a channel that is moderate, like for example, I don't know, imagine watching Euronews. Euronews is moderate. It just like gives you the news without no one presenting them. A moderate channel with a right-wing presenter, and his team and the 2 hours of his show will be more right-wing. Okay? Or the opposite. You can have a moderate channel and the 2 hours of another presenter in the same channel can be more left-wing. I can't imagine you watching TV shows and Americans Got Talent and Love is like, no, not like those. News, the news. I watch the news. You can watch what I watch. It can probably be translated now, right now over at YouTube if I just give you the channel. I have my favorite presenter. Here, here, how do I put it? It's difficult to explain because it was the opposite of the word. Here, our journalism, if there's one thing that Argentina can boast about, is the quality of its journalism. Why? Because it's extremely independent in comparison. In most cases, of course, there are mercenaries like everywhere else, but we've had we've always had 3-4 very independent journalists that simply say what they think. What I do here on stream, they say what they think, and they really do not care about audience. That is the thing. That has been something very positive. I meant like trash TV shows filled with ads. That is commercial television. I think. You mean like traditional TV shows? No. I just watch. I watch the news. In that sense, with my favorite presenter. You can Google. You can Google it. I think I can write the name even, and you can see that he's basically very similar to what I do here on stream when I talk about society and politics and everything. It's basically the same. It's basically the same. So imagine that it could explain to you, Patrick. It could explain to you, Patrick, the why I structure the stream like I do. Like it would make sense to you. Like I was the same presenter since I was 13 years old. I'm 30. So, and he remained independent in that sense, regardless of the government. So, in that sense, it's different here. No, those trash TV shows that you say with those, no, I don't watch it. I just watch cartoons from the 90s. I just cannot tolerate. I told you I cannot watch anything past. I think I haven't watched a single movie past 2010, more or less. Like nothing. Like my favorite movie is Star Wars 3: Revenge of the Sith, 2005. Then I like Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. I like Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light a lot. The first one that they released, I watched that one 35 times. The same for Revenge of the Sith, around 30 times when I was a kid. And pretty much I just watched shows from the 90s, cartoons from the 90s and the early 2000s, like Batman of the Future or Batman Beyond in the Americas or Europe. Chaotic, that I have a Danish viewer, Eames, that I always tell him that he has to watch Chaotic, precisely, as he's Danish. You know, if anyone is Danish, you have to watch Chaotic. Then, of course, Samurai Jack, Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I was watching The Secret Saturdays the other month, precisely. Pretty good. The Secret Saturdays. Ben 10 from 2005, the original. Generator Rex, but many others. For example, another one that was absolutely amazing was the classic Batman of the 90s. The Amazing Spider-Man from the early 2000s as well was amazing. So yeah, I think there's been a degradation in quality since 2010 that I just simply I don't watch anything beyond 2010. Patrick, basically, as you know, beyond 2010, I do watch the news. It's pretty much the only thing I use TV for the news, and with the journalists that I've watched all my life. Then I can give it. I don't know if YouTube nowadays translates to Hungarian, so you should be able to also watch him. But he'll give you local news. But you will understand the style because you could feel like it's watching me in that sense. Sadly, he's on holidays. He returns next week. So yeah, pretty much it's like that. Like traditional TV with those that you say trash TV shows with ads, commercial. No, we have true. I have to tell you that. You know that I don't use Netflix, right? To watch all of those. Like here, uh, there's a bit of a monopoly of like the local provider of cable TV. It's difficult to explain. The local provider of cable TV was quite skilled, and he transitioned to a Netflix-like clone seamlessly. So really, we don't have that much of a need to hire Netflix. Like I just grab. Anyways, it doesn't have the TV shows that I like, so I just pick the TV shows that anyways Netflix wouldn't have. And as for the rest, it's more than enough. I wish I could show it to you, but it's pretty much like that. Like the cable TV was quite smart, was quite skilled. I don't know how many countries did it, but it pretty much works like a Netflix now. So you can like pause it, like the news, and send it back, and etc. And forward. Do you think external influences and manipulations affect people? And if so, who are the most easily influenced by? I heard a debate where someone, interestingly, he hosted a trash radio show, didn't take external influences seriously. He said that every person has a choice about what they watch, buy, and do. Everyone has a choice at the end of the day, but it is being deliberately restricted by all of those things that you are mentioning. Yes. I do think that well, everyone has a choice at the end of the day. In the intimacy of all of our minds, we do have the choice at the end of the day. Never give up people on life and those things, because at the end of the day, no one can penetrate the intimacy of your thoughts, even if you are, let's say, under the worst circumstances, I don't know, in Africa, starving and etc. There's one last thing that none can take from you: the intimacy of your thoughts. Even if you get killed or whatever, doesn't matter. That's the last thing that we never lose until the end. So in that sense, I agree on that part. The part that I do not agree is that right now people are being bombarded with, as I told you, Chinese influence in the context of a Cold War with the United States to destroy it from within, in that sense. So the part of being manipulated also as well. You do have a choice, but we are being heavily manipulated in that sense. We are being heavily manipulated in that sense. We are being heavily manipulated in that sense. So yeah, for the interest of China of destroying the United States and Europe. And as I told you, since they know perfectly that in an open conflict, the United States would decimate China, well, they need to do a Cold War, like it happened in the 80s, if I remember correctly, with the Soviet Union before it collapsed. In that sense, and we made a mistake. This is why I tell everyone, Flying Energy has mostly European audience, I presume. They're in Germany and everything. So my 2 cents as Italian fellow European that just due to World War II came to the Americas. in that sense, my ancestors. We made that mistake of trying to remain neutral in the context of a Cold War in the 80s. I will write an exam about the Cold War tomorrow, KW. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, don't tell your teacher, Patrick, that what I say, that I think it's a great mistake what we as European Union are doing, remaining neutral in the middle of a Cold War. Why? Because South America did that, tried that strategy while Europe supported the United States. South America tried that in 1980. In the 1980, pretty much in the 80s, and it cost us severely. After that, we got like economic punishments and being third world countries for 20, 30 years that only now is beginning to start reverting. And all of that because you cannot really remain. My theory, people, it's my theory, people. My theory. I could be wrong, of course, and everything, but because of personal experience, when there's a Cold War between China is not a superpower, but between a superpower that is the United States and another one that is challenging its position, you cannot really remain completely neutral like the European Union is trying to do. You have to pick a side, and I think it's natural due to history and sharing a common Western religion and everything, and culture. It goes beyond religion. I told you I'm atheist. Culture. The natural choice is indeed the United States in that sense. In that sense, she is the communist, as you said. I just realized who is over 50 as a teacher. They had to learn Marxism in the teachers' university. Great educational system. Well, I had to read about Marxism. But I also read about conservatism. That is the problem. Generally, people who read about Marxism nowadays do not read about conservatism. And do not read about history prior to World War II. In that sense. So yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. In that sense. Yeah. That is the thing. Because the Soviet Union controlled Hungary for... No, yeah, I know, for a long time. So basically 70% of my teachers are communists. Dang, that's a problem, Patrick. That's a problem. They must have a pretty brutal contradiction, because they self-declare communists, and then I bet that due to the past of Hungary being more Roman Catholic and etc., then they also cannot be part of the Rainbow Flag Club. So they are like in a limbo in which they want to be part of the Communist Club, but they cannot say that they support a rainbow flag. So pretty much it goes against the modern vision of these communists that, from New York, that say all of that, plus the rainbow flag. So it must be quite a problem. Must be quite a problem in that sense. My history teacher supports the rainbow flag. Oh, nice! What a damn. Then she. Oh well. Well, that is quite astonishing in Hungary. It must be quite astonishing in Hungary, especially in Eastern Europe in general. Because it's not something that was born over there. So something that was born over there. It was more of a U.S. creation by the Democrat Party. So in that sense, it somehow conflicts with it, let's say, traditional communist. Oh well, pretty much. Okay. Dang, Patrick. Then I must be like, I'm a bad influence. Then I'm a bad influence. Even though I am actually not a bad influence because my consciousness is safe and secure that I Abaddon Elite Zone. What is this? What is this shit, Abaddon Elite Zone? Is this part of the multiplayer that I never played? That I never played? In Diablo 2? Could it be? I'm not a bad influence because I always explained why I think everything that I described ever on stream. So in that sense, I cannot be accused of blind hate. I've exactly said why at every corner, every centimeter of the way. That's why. So our lovely dictator banned Pride, and due to his great reputation, he stole about 1.8 million USD from the Hungarian. Okay, we had the same in Argentina, so you are not alone there. Much more than that. Even straight people protested about the allowance of Pride. No, that is the thing that sometimes they overlap. I had the same, Patrick. We had the same. We had the same communists, but in our case, they didn't ban it. They were more like the Democrats that embraced it. So it was easy to like unify both things. So yes, but do not like fall for the trap of the Democrat Party, which is like basically uniting both of those topics. You get what I mean? That yes, your president, your dictator does it has corruption and everything. We also had it, but not because of eliminating one threat. It's justified to then also bring the threat of the rainbow flag. Like, be careful with that, because you tell me that your history teacher is already, they are already indoctrinating the people like that. So be careful with that, because generally it's used as a weapon. That, oh, in your country your dictator is does a lot of bad things, he's corrupt and everything. Oh well, then he's right-wing. No, he's not right-wing, that's a trap. He's not right-wing, he's a left-wing dictator, which can happen and exist in that sense. A totalitarian left-wing dictator, that is a reality and can happen. Happen as the ask the Soviet Union. Or would anyone say that Stalin was a right-wing dictator? No, he was a left-wing dictator. The same with the mustache man from Germany, people. He was a left-wing dictator. He wasn't right-wing. Do you know which one were the right-wing, not dictator? The monarchy, the British, the Spanish monarchy. I don't know, the Italian monarchy before we transitioned to republic. Those were the right-wing. The Austrian monarchy, I don't know, the Hungarian monarchy back when it was it. Those were the right-wing conservatives. The mustache man was left-wing. If he did the same as Napoleon 100 years before him, he was completely left-wing. If the name of the party was National Socialism, and they absorbed something called in, as I always mention, in the in German, the Volksgemeinschaft. They absorbed something, you can Google it, Volksgemeinschaft. It's in German, Eraser, we don't understand, please. It's in German. I do have a German viewer, and we've discussed this, and another one from Denmark that we discussed it. The box gaming shaft. What does it mean? Box gaming shaft. The inherited spirit of the Prussian community in that case, in the context of that era. The original name of the previous name of Germany was Prussia. Prussian Empire. And see that the very definition of the absurd term that the National Socialist Party did was the box gaming shaft. The inherited spirit of the Prussian community. Community. It has the word community both in the definition and the name. And the state, the community, absorbs the individual. It doesn't matter if it is through right wing, like I don't know, sadly going for I don't know. Right wing would be like a monarch turning into a tyrant, or but when the monarch turns into a socialist dictator like Napoleon and 100 years, see that there's something very unfair. Everyone always blames Germans for the mustache man constantly, even nowadays, which yes, he did a lot of terrible things, and it was terrible, and we should all be grateful to the US and the rest of Europe for ending it. 100% terrible things, but no one ever remembers Napoleon. Napoleon did the same, and the French do not acknowledge and are not blamed for a lot of those things. In that sense, both should be condemned. The actions of the mustache man, not the people, the actions of the mustache man, but also of Napoleon. And I don't see the French reacting like that. That's highly discriminatory, actually. Hang on. Now I read it, Patrick. And I'm scared because I support the opposite party, which is Magia Peter, who is truly the dream leader with the knowledge. He debates everyone openly. He's a true fighter for the Hungarians. But as I see it, he would allow the rainbow flag. Because he works with an influential liberal woman who fights for... Okay, well, that's what I mentioned. That's what happened here in a lot of cases. Be careful with that. Be careful with that, because they are like that. They go from one extreme, and then they grab the wheel and turn it to the other one. Who fights for example, the dictator made every kindergarten Roman Catholic. That's a good idea. Yes, because of the culture inherited by Europe. As long as people can openly say that they are atheist and they are not discriminated for it, it's okay. But the inherited culture, for example, this is what I mean by inherited culture, people, because sometimes it's very abstract. Do you know that the fact that children are not allowed? Imagine that a grandparent dies. Okay, this is what I mean by inherited culture. Not starting a crusade and killing people. This is what I mean by inherited Roman Catholic culture. Did you know that the fact that when a grandparent dies, 80 years, for example, or 90 years, and the grandson is, let's say, 5 years, or 2 years, or 3 years, the tradition, the subconscious idea that we all mostly have of not bringing a 4 or 5 year old to a funeral is a Roman Catholic one. It was invented in Rome. That is what I mean by culture. Those things. So those things, I think it's healthy to keep them at the kindergarten and those things. Valuing the influence of Roman Catholic culture. Of Western Roman Catholic culture, precisely, of Christianity. That does not mean starting a crusade and killing people on the street, or hang anyone who says that I would be the first person hanged. if someone created a law in which anyone who said it would be hanged, that they do not believe in the existence of God, of the fabric of the universe. That is one thing. But it does not mean not acknowledging the importance of the influence of Roman Catholic culture in Europe and the Americas. No, we can do both things. So what you are mentioning, yes, be careful, because if you tell me that the other, you are between two evils, it's being between two evils, that's a tough spot in that sense, because the other ones are not freedom fighters. If they want to incorporate all those ideas, they want to usurp the position of the dictator in that sense. Be careful, because sometimes the freedom fighters in that sense also would like being the dictator, turning into the dictator, and they are just envious that they cannot do it with their own ideals. For example, this one would, you're telling me that the one that you have right now bans it, which I agree with. It's not because of that. I assume there's other problems. You are mentioning the corruption, I get you. You want to eliminate the corruption, the ideal situation, but keeping the proper cultural heritage, and they are trying to destroy that part. So be careful with that, because it's not the person that you are mentioning, Patrick. It's that behind that person, it's the globalist influence of von der Leyen and being a puppet of China. At the end of the day, it's China. That is the thing. If you ask me, that is the thing. If they think it's easy, why people think of it like this: if you are truly under a dictatorship, okay? We were here in Argentina, that's why I get you. Under a very we never got to. Ours stole more than yours, Patrick. Ours stole more than 1.8 billion dollars. They stole much more than that. They stole the equivalent of 3 PIBs, the total product that a country produced in 3 years. And was a bit dictator-like in my country. Dictatorship-like in my country. Like, you couldn't, for example, buy American dollars. You had to buy the local currency. Things like that. It never got to it didn't get to I don't know, paramilitary services killing people, I guess. Well, at least not that I know. There must have been. Not so blatantly extreme, but still. The economy, they destroyed it. Much more inflation than you had. It was like more corruption, less violence, more subtle. But the corruption was higher. They stole more than what you said here. So we had like let's say a middle term solution previously to our current one, which is more like what you say. They approved abortion, the same people, let's say, the two men marriage. It should be called two men marriage or two women marriage, or whatever, or whatever. The same sex marriage. Okay, let's call it the same. They approved that. They passed the bill for abortion as well, etc. Do you know how it ended? We had an intermediate solution here before. You know how it ended? It couldn't fix the economy, and we went back to another term of the communist, of the pseudo-communist socialists, of the communist socialists, pretty much. And now a proper, let's say, Trump clone. He's a doctor in economics, actually. It's different than Trump. It's more like me, similar in terms of manner and behavior. In that sense, not so many insults, but a doctor in economics. The more extreme solution was the one that is solving it, and he rejected the wokes, precisely the same-sex marriage and the abortion. In that sense, so I can tell you with my own experience that intermediate solutions in those cases only replace one dictator with another. It needs to be a person who... The key is this one, Patrick. Pay attention to this. Our minister released 20 different... well, terrible criminals. I think I cannot say that one over at Twitch and YouTube. From the jail, because they were close to the party. After them, he accommodated a Polish P after the guy escaped from Poland. Okay, all of those need to rot in jail as well. I agree with you. They are like... it's a left-wing dictator. It's a left-wing dictator. That is not right-wing. That is a left-wing dictator. Well, if you want a right-wing government, look at the UK. Look at well, back when it was a much more decent relationship between... There was a much more decent relationship between the monarchy and the prime minister. Now Starmer is a mess. But still, look at those. This, what you're describing is a left-wing dictator. It's a left-wing dictator. You have to pay attention to this, Patrick. This is the key. Which... this is the key question that you should ask yourself. The freedom fighter, okay? The one that you say, the Magyar Peter, and the other one. If you are telling me about such grave crimes and etc., can you reasonably estimate that they should be caring about rainbow flags? When you're telling me things as grave as those? Well, it seems a bit out of touch with reality. First point. And second point, what you need to pay attention to. Did they promise that they are going to shrink the size of the state? You need to pay attention. The way to separate the freedom fighter that you say from someone who wants to replace the dictator is with the size of the state. Pay attention to the size of the state in their minds. If they say that they want to shrink it, they are true freedom fighters. If they do not say that they want to shrink it, I think Magyar Peter supports Rainbow because he wants both. The Pride protest was one of the biggest protests in the Hungarian history. Okay, but this is the key, Patrick, if you want to get to the real intentions. The size of the state. And by size I mean how much money he pretends to spend once he gets he supposedly gets the presidency or the prime minister. Look at the size of the state that he promised. Always, people, it's the best thing that I can suggest to you. It's not about and after that, yes, look at I would never vote someone. In my case, I'm so conservative that I would never vote someone. The second someone said that that they support I can't carry anymore. That they support same-sex marriage or abortion, it's instant thing. Now, If there's a dictatorship in which I can get why, I can get it because I went through it. We had to tolerate it for 4 years. In fact, I did vote it like that intermediate solution, but I got tricked. If they had said that they were going to approve those, in my case I was tricked. Here apparently they are saying it openly. If they say it openly, I still will. But look at the size of the state. The size of the state. By size I mean the expenditure. How much he promises to spend is the only thing that you should care about. Because you can have a woke politician, but they come in two forms. A form that is completely stupid, and another one in which he's only culturally illiterate. When they're completely stupid, they're going to spend, this is the key, people, they're going to spend more than what the total amount of money provided by the taxpayers of the population of said country. That will cause inflation, okay? And from there, it ends. Then, there are certain types of wokes, let's say, of liberal politicians, that while they culturally do all those things, like it was our case, they try to shrink the size of the state. You see, that is the key. That they understand, even if they want to approve all of those laws and rainbow flags and etc., they understand that you cannot spend more than what the total amount of money that your taxpayers are giving you. You cannot spend more than that because that causes inflation. If it's the second group, well, if the other dictator is extremely inept and it's also corrupt, if it's also corrupt as you are describing, well, that is a different case. I could consider voting that one. I say it openly. And then afterwards, as a person that understands this, of shrinking the size of the state, but also not being culturally a psychopath, because the rainbow flag at the end of the day is being psychopaths, then I would also vote against that one. I would then also remove the other one if a third better option appears that understands about freedom and giving people freedom and all of those things, but without the rainbow flag. I think Magyar supports rainbow because he wants both. He's a right centrist. I don't know what centrist mean. It is what I'm mentioning, Patrick. The key is what. Listen to my words in this case, and you know that I don't say this frequently, because it's the key. The size of the state, how much he spends, how much money he spends. Look at how much money he spends monthly. Monthly, Patrick. How much money he pretends to spend. You look at that and that doesn't lie. I understand that against a dictator, a left-wing dictator, even a globalist sounds good, like this one that you're describing. If he supports the rainbow flag, he's a globalist. Even that sounds good, but it's much deeper. He can be a globalist that has an idea of this, what I'm mentioning, or he can be an illiterate globalist. The most dangerous ones are the illiterate globalists, who don't understand the most basic aspects of economy. Those ones are dangerous, because they want to overwrite economy with culture. You can have a globalist, liberal and etc., but one who understands the most basic concepts of economy. That one is dangerous, but it's not as dangerous as the other one. And if you have a left-wing dictator, well, as I told you, in Argentina we did that. We first voted for a centrist right, semi-globalist, to just to get rid of the communist pest that we have. We were better than with the communist pest for 4 years. Yes, we were much better. But then the communists won again because he didn't do things well, economically speaking. And now, in this previous election, we had the chance. We had the chance. We had, like, the so-called, he's not far right. None of the parties that you see right now, not even Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not far right. None of them are far right. Far right means that right now I say, oh well, let's go. Time to kill anyone who thinks differently than me. That's not what Trump does. I'm sorry. Far right is right now saying that, well, I don't care about the Constitution of the United States. I will become an emperor and I will start attacking and I will kill all of my population. I'm not going to talk about migration or anything. No, anyone who doesn't think like I do, that one dies, and we start. That's not what he's doing. That's not what he's doing. In the United States, everyone is criticizing him every single fucking day. No. The one that got killed resisted to a police arrest. People need to understand that order is not... Law and order is a concept that it does not belong to either the left or the right. Okay? The fact that a police officer shoots a person, if the person committed a crime, like accelerating with your car, is not something that belongs to the right. People need to understand this. It's not a right-wing action. Ambra, I almost forgot the other day. Would you like to join the Discord? I would love you to join the Discord because you get disconnected from the stream for lots of time because of the university. So I can offer you the Discord to see the rest of the people in case you want to see what we do. We wish each other Happy New Year and those things. Just so I don't miss contact with you for months because of your studies. Because I remember I felt that when you had to go to university. How's which one was it? The Rocklo treating you? How's Rocklo treating you? They're in the German border of Poland. Well, I'm close to my finals. Oof. Tough moment. They are your first finals, I bet. Or your second ones, probably. Your second one. I barely have any classes in Rocklo. Ah, you study at home. And where do you study? First finals, oh, that's so cute. I remember my first finals. They were quite painful for me. It's the first semester. My first semester was painful, people. Not because of the exams. In the exams, I ended up with 63 out of 10 score. It's because I lost my grandpa. In the very day I sat for the last exam of my first semester. I lost my grandpa on the very same day, and I grew up with my grandpa. I studied... Shit, that one, the name killed me. Wallbridge. I feel tempted to say like bridge in English, but yeah, sorry if I butchered it. It's the problem with being Spanish speaker. XD, yeah. I'm right. I know that is fun for you in that sense. Wrapping up, Patrick, for you that he's right-centric. Pay attention to the size of the state, how much he spends monthly. If he should promise, if he's open about his intention, that he's going to shrink the state, that he's going to spend less per month. Pay attention to that, Patrick. That's what I recommend. XD, that's not at all how you pronounce it. Yeah, no, I imagine. I imagine, Ambra, I imagine, but well, it's what I can do. I do like an English version of it. But yeah. No, I know it. I know, Ambra. You might understand, for Spanish speakers, uh, German-derived, Slavic and German-derived languages are brutal. It's like the opposite of Latin. Spending less? That's hard, XD. No, Patrick is from Hungary, Ambra. You see him here with me every day. He's my most loyal viewer. He's the best. He's my friend as well. He's my friend. He's my friend like my friends at Star Wars Republic offline. That's why I told you, just like you are also my friend, that I offer you the Discord, because there I chat with all of them. I spent 1.4k euros in January. Damn, Ambra. No, I told you, Ambra, that you went last time. Never, because I know that at your age this is something incisive. Never feel bad because of doing a part-time job at the KFC. Never feel bad. A job always dignifies us. And I say this seriously, it dignifies us. Because I see a lot of people online ridiculing people and those things. Never feel bad because of that. You hear me? I don't feel bad with it at all. Good to hear it. But I wanted to tell you because I know that at your age and with social media, fortunately that's something that fortunately I didn't have to deal with. I know that people can be stupid about it. Never feel bad. A job always dignifies us, no matter what it is. If it's an honest job in which we are not robbing people or anything, it dignifies us. So don't feel bad about it. If anything, feel bad if they don't gift you some of those juicy strips that they have. I have a job that makes me able to save or spend money the way I want. That is the spirit. That is the spirit, Ambra. That is the spirit. I'm proud of you. That's the way you should feel about it. Because when you told it to me last time, you had to go and I started talking. I said precisely this, that a job always dignifies us people. And anyone, well, in my case, anyone who on social media tries to ridicule us for our jobs, I would directly send the person to forced labor. Because that is a terrible message to society. So be proud of what you do, and everything that you put in your effort to work towards a better future. Like 2 days ago, I ordered two hard drives of 3 terabytes on SAS, RAID controller, and a SAS cable with the money of your job, and that's amazing. See people, this is what I say every day. This is the relationship that people should have with jobs, regardless of how they are, because he's a Ambra, you know a lot about programming, you know a lot about he knows a lot about of programming languages and everything. And even so, he does that job, and see that's the relationship. I also bought better VPS, or VPN, a better VPN or a VPS. Oh, that's one that's located in Berlin. Well, it's like that. See people, it's like that. That's a relationship that people should have with money. See that the job makes him more independent from the state. He does not depend on the state paying him money. That is the miraculous thing, the incredible thing. 60 PLN per year. I don't know what PLN is. 60 PLN per year. And it's 14 euros. Okay. It's a the VPS. Okay. The virtual private. It's not a network. Security can be. I don't know if it's not network. and it's 14 euros. Well, it's like that. See, people, I like that you have a healthy relationship with those. So, my first final exams, as I was telling you, were bad, not because of the marks, but because I lost my grandpa. In the last exam of the first finals, I lost my grandpa. Right as I finished exam, you must be thinking, yes, right as I finished exam, right as I finished the final exam. I had like 4 exams the first semester, and I lost my grandpa in the final day of the last one. It was painful. Well, I bought BPS to make my own private BPS for my server. The sad face, yeah, it was like that. I ended up with 963 average, but I lost him on the very same day of my last final exam. It was precisely a philosophy of law, the subject. See, I remember it. This was in 2014, in the very first semester. Like, imagine the last exam. But well, Ambra, I enjoyed my grandparents a lot because I grew up with them. It was like losing a parent more for me than a grandparent because I grew up with them, like living with them as well, both my parents and my grandparents. So while it was painful, I could keep I could keep going because I had enjoyed them a lot. Like, I spent every single day of my life from 1 to 18 years with him. And that's more than what most people ever do in their lives. So I can only be grateful. It's more than what most people will ever get in their lives. Like, because when we say we spend a lot of people with our grandparents, yes, people say, but not living with them. Not every single day as you get up and go to sleep. It's like visiting them in a weekend. Like, for me, it was like constant 24 hours. I would go out with them. Yeah, I get it. It's like that. I got like full 18 years. In the case of most people, it's like a weekend visiting them and etc. Still was tough. Still it was tough. It was tough. Uh, Patrick, my grandma, it's what the fuck? What's a Xanax? A Xanax addict? What the fuck is a Xanax? My grandma is a Xanax addict. Good for you, man. What the fuck is Xanax? I have no idea. I get it because I live with my parents. No way, Ambra. No way. Same. No way. You live with your parents and grandparents. Oh well. Then you do get me a lot. You grew up with them since a little kid. You grew up with them, like me. With parents plus grandparents. Patrick, you have to explain me strong sedative and why is she addicted to a sedative. Patrick, I don't want to ask, but why to a sedative? How can someone be addicted to a sedative? To avoid pain, you mean? To avoid pain. So, Ambra, you grew up with your... Oh, damn it. Well, then you do get me a lot. Yes. But well, I am only child of older parents. Sadly, in that sense, my mother was like 37, 38 when she had me, and my father 40. So, by the way, I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue this programming path. No, don't say that, Ambra. It's money. It's money. I don't know, she stopped working. She got bored of the world now. And she verbally abuses your grandfather on a daily basis and takes Xanax after that. No. It's Patrick. Well, but considering it's Patrick, my grandfather died like... Well, I got more interested in servers. Okay, so you well, it will still demand programming, won't it, Ambra? It will. Patrick, regarding yours, well, What you are telling me is terrible, without a doubt. Uh, I, I I don't know. Yeah, you also don't understand how someone can be addicted to a sedative. I also didn't get that part. I don't understand why. It's not a drug. She got bored of the world. Well, kinda. Yeah, like you do the backend, right? You anyways will have you anyways have to program to program the server, right? Umbra. It's not as exciting as what I did, which was front end, which was all of the UI it had an artistic component. That's the interesting part of front end of doing the user interface, is that it has an artistic component to it that I always liked. In that sense, the backend is the opposite. Xanax has an effect of like two with joints. You gotta be kidding me, Patrick. What the fuck? I'm going to Google what the fuck Xanax is after the stream. I'll be honest. Uh, I like making the servers work. XD, well, it's the backend. It's the backend, Umbra. It's the backend. You will have to. I made some backend servers. You still have to. You still have to program it. The endpoints, the actions, the get. It's basically making the ah, making the tables or the cycles that you have to loop through for the front end to get the info. Yeah, it's creating the database. Like right now, I have a server with 24 cores and 48 threads plus 64 gigs of RAM as your private server. But what do you use it for? Or it's just as experiment? Patrick, regarding that, well, it's terrible that she verbally abuses your parent. That she verbally abuses your grandfather. That is terrible. No, on a daily basis. I had a classmate last year. The candy dealer returns. He took Xanax in the school and he couldn't rotate his neck for 1 hour. He just started as he just stared at a point on the wall. No, what the fuck? But why is it that people have free access to such a strong sedative? Like they buy it over at a pharmacy. Amber, regarding your server, but it's like your own project on your own that you do on your own. I need to create, you know what, Ambra? I have an offline World of Warcraft server on my PC, and I want to put it online to play with some of my Star Wars: The Old Republic friends, like private server with me being the GM. I cannot stream WoW servers here, sadly, offline WoW servers here because it's against the rules, so I can't. For example, that one I need to do that. I need to do that so I can play with my friends from the US. In that sense, maybe on my own server, because I modified it. On it I have a Proxmox. Then I don't know what that is. You'll have to explain. On it I have 3 virtual machines. Yes, that one is good. One I use to host a Minecraft server. You know. But Ambra, you do as me with that. Second one is for my friend, and the third one is the host database for the server. Like, and on Proxmox, that one I don't know what it is based. You have an FTP website to access the files of the virtual machines. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the virtual machines are basically like he's running an operating system generally most of the time. Like, for example, you can have Linux on your PC and you have a virtual machine with Windows if you don't like it. Or I don't know, whatever. It's generally the way to reverse engineer game servers as well. Like that. Generally, modernly, they work with virtual machines. Which I don't like, because I don't know how to manipulate them. It's easier to just get the database for the whole server on a repack or something. You host a Minecraft server. That's amazing. I do that with Minecraft, but I have it offline. I don't put it online. I do that with World of Warcraft, but I have it instead of Minecraft. I do it with World of Warcraft, but I have it offline. So even when I lose internet access, nowadays it doesn't happen. It used to happen with the socialist government. I could access it. Also, you are thinking about buying two RTX 480 for private LLM. What? That's good. I have two 3080s. I have two 3080s. I fulfilled that dream. Then I the price of one of them paid off itself by mining some Ethereum, basically. So the $700 of one of them, it was before they jumped in price, it paid itself. So one was actually it paid itself. Then I had to change the fans, and that's pretty much it. I had to change the fans because they got worn down, and I just changed the fans, and it works perfectly. Well, I cannot mine crypto on my network. I know. No, you can't. Anyways, it's not that profitable anymore. It's not that profitable anymore. It was back when Ethereum was like low on price in that sense. Anyways, it's a bubble that can burst at any time. I'm aware of it, people. I don't do it anymore. I don't do it anymore. Uh, since long ago, when Ethereum went to the transition to proof of stake, that it auto mines by putting money there, it lost all of the interesting portion because there was no difference between that and a traditional bank. You just put your money and it grows, and another one works with it like a bank. It's not like you actually use your GPU power to generate it. It lost the innovative part of it. It was also a bit of like a game for a lot of people. You know the trading principle, buying high, selling low. Yeah. I mind it when it was lower, not a lot lower, but yes, a bit lower. Yeah, Patrick. By the way, Patrick, sad that what you tell me about your grandmother, you say you're not fortunate. That's terrible. Grandparents are like the embodiment of kindness in this world. In this world, it's hosted on your dorm network, and if I would start to mine crypto, my network would be banned by my university. Ah, you have it, but Ambra, you created. Ambra, you created. We need to get this, Patrick. He created like a bunker, like a fortress over at his dorm, over at university. He created like a bunker, like a fortress where he hosts all of the servers. Well, it's an engineering career, so it does make fucking sense. But still, if I were the dragons, one step closer to hacking Nace. Yeah, Ambra. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. You created like a bank. If I were the Dragons and online devs, I would be scared. I would be fucking scared if I were if I were the Dragons and online devs. I would be fucking scared. They have to be shitting their pants. They would be shitting their pants if they knew of your existence like that. No time to play Dragon's Sang Online. Sadly. No, I didn't mean it because of that. I meant because of reverse engineering the server. Like intercepting the packages and reverse engineering the server. My grandparents were sane back when you were a child. And did you get me? Ah, okay. I have only good memories. So, okay, good, Patrick. So the good part already happened. Okay, the good part already happened. No, in the case of Ambra, he also surprised me that he grew up living with his grandparents. It's like losing a parent in that case. I bet he can attest for it. For me, it was like that. Have a good talk and a nice night, guys. See ya, Patrick. There in Hungary. Wish you a great night. Same. Ambra is wishing you. Thank you for visiting me every stream. Patrick, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are incredible company ever, and I love our chats. You are my dear friend. Same with you, Ambra. In that sense, yes. Eh, always appreciate when you visit me right at the beginning. In that sense. Right now I'm just after learning session of math. Oof, that one is hard. But Ambra, do not give up on. It was a great learning session with few beers in hand. Oh, Ambra, you're way too young to drink alcohol. You're way too young. I never drank alcohol. Never, ever. I'm a good boy. Oh, what are you gonna do, people? I never drank any alcohol. No, at all. I don't know the taste of it, even. Huh? What do you mean too young? Well, you're going to university to drink alcohol. 20, 21, 22. University isn't like that. 21, 22, aren't you? First year of university isn't like that. At least in European systems. In Poland, it's legal to drink at the... No, yes, I know. Here as well. But still, okay. No, I should point out this. In Italian culture, right? In Italian culture, alcohol has more of a stigma than in Northern Europe. In Spain and Italy. And Argentina is basically independent from, is culturally like Italy. It's the same. We are 60% Italians. I am, I have the Italian citizenship. It's like that. No, I know that you are, that it's legal to drink here as well at 18, but here it still has a stigma in a lot of cases. It still has a stigma. That's why I never drink alcohol. It's different culture. It's cultural. In Poland, usually the first drink people drink is at the... No, here as well. But it carries a stigma. For example, they do it. They do that, what you say. That drinking the first drink with alcohol at 14. They do it. Not me, but they do it. But, for example, if a neighbor of the parent sees that, well, immediately thinks that the parent is terrible. There's that social stigma that I know that in Northern Europe, for example, it's not like that. I know it. But here it is like that. Alcohol is connected to our culture. That's why, precisely. Here is the opposite. We have that stigma. It's not that we think that anyone who drinks a glass of alcohol, we say, oh, he is like a mess of himself or crazy. No, it's not that. But it has the social stigma. Like a parent who gives his child a glass of alcohol at 14, the natural reaction would be that this person has a bit of shit in his brain, like a bit like that. It would be just a reaction. He's not responsible, like that. Not that it's a crime. That's why my reaction of you are too young. No, I don't. I know you are young to drink the alcohol in my culture. In that sense, even if people do it, but still we have that reaction. It's something that Northern Europeans generally have with us, that Southern Europeans. We have that stigma, that strong stigma against it. Okay. Well, at our uni, we're after 5 parties. What do you mean 5 parties? What do you mean 5 parties? We are after 5? You start drinking after 5 parties. What do you mean? That it's like a rule. You have to throw 5 parties to start drinking. 5 parties, we are drunk as fuck. Okay. Okay. You are drunk as fuck now. Okay. No, you start drinking at the first party and you get drunk after the 5th one. Okay, 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 okay. Parties? Well, see, that would be another thing. I went to a Roman Catholic university. I think I never told you, right? I went to a Roman Catholic university with an academic merit scholarship that I got at high school. Like I got the highest average out of my high school, and I went to a Roman Catholic university, a private one. No, no, no. I mean, we've had 5 parties in which you were drinking a lot. Okay, 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 okay. As much drunk as five. As much as five. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, 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 okay. You had parties at university? We don't. We didn't do those things. I went to a Roman Catholic university. In that sense, uh, the most expensive one in my country. Uh, I didn't pay monthly because I had an academic merit scholarship. I studied all day, 12 hours. During high school at university, I was like, I didn't play a single video game. Also, going back to the conversation, Promox is a virtualization system based on Debian. Ah, okay, it's like the virtual machines then, similar to the virtual machines. Yeah, yeah. I was beginning to think about it. It's like a virtualization system, like the virtual machines, like to run Windows. If you have a Linux computer, you run a Windows one, something like that. In that sense. Let's deposit all of these people. I need to deposit more. Dang, the stash is at the limit as well, I think, huh? It's made to host virtual machines and containers. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, so you are just probably. And what do you host there? Windows, and you run Linux. Like I said, it's like the most common use case. Virtual machines and containers. I could never run one of those virtual machines. You have to configure them a lot and etc. I generally use World of Warcraft repacks. Right now you only have Linux virtual machines, and running locally you have Windows. Like the PC runs Windows and you get Linux. And I'm not going to host Windows virtual machines. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. I tried. Nah. I could never get them to work. Otherwise, I would have offline servers for me alone, not for hosting or anything. I don't really care. Beyond with some friends that were at Star Wars: The Republic for World of Warcraft, I wouldn't care about the other. Promox is based on Linux. When you meant you meant you don't have Windows on your machine. Promox is based on Linux and it's made to host VMs on it. So you are running that one as the operating system. Dang. Dang. It's like made for hosting virtual machines. It's based on Line. It's like an evolution of Line. Okay. Okay. So instead of Linux, you are hosting. You are running that one locally, and the virtual machine is Linux. Okay. It's like an evolution of Linux. For that, at least. Optimized for that. Nah, I'm getting. I get the structure. I get the mental structure now. Okay. Yes, that's what I meant. Okay. Okay, I get the mental structure of your idea. Okay. Yeah, no, as I tell you, I directly use the World of Warcraft repacks because like that, well, I can run them offline. I like running them offline. For example, I have a server of World of Warcraft, another one for Lineage 2, another one for Black Desert Online, another one for one called Terra, the Exiled Realm of Arborea, and they all run locally on my PC. And the World of Warcraft one, I being unable, I need to investigate. I bet I can do it. How to run it online, a copy of it online. I want to run a copy of it online for me and some friends. In that sense, right now you use a few distros and Linux. Okay, so variations of Linux. Hang on, huh? So you use a few variations of Linux. You use Fedora on your desktop, Ubuntu on your VPS to shit your VPN. Then I have Proxmox, which is based on Debian. Then 3 virtual machines with Debian on them. You like the backend a lot, Ambra. That's why I would suggest you shouldn't stray from the path of programming. Because I bet the world needs good backend developers like you. In that sense. It needs a lot of backend developers like you. Good backend developers. And doing all of that on your own is a lot. I would have never been able to do all of those things. In that sense. So yeah, you practice a lot. You must have practiced a lot for that to work. Besides on your own, not without any formal, like just reading off the internet the material. So only because of that initiative, I'll say that you should get a pretty good job in no time about programming. Fourth year of university. Like, that's very advanced stuff. Yes, I could. I need a second server though. Yes, for example, I could, as someone who has worked in the front end and you're doing the UIs, then I could say, well, yes, but then the front end is lacking. Yeah, I could say that, but no. If you can manage the back end, I don't think anyone is going to care about your front end skills. Says I bet you can do it. So yeah, you need a second server though and you know that someone actually released a copy of. You need a backup server because I made my own backup script in Bash for my class, and I would actually use it on my server. So that's good. That's good. Beginning to apply those things. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. In that sense. You know, Ambra, that I'm studying as well. I am studying. I am studying. I am doing a fourth career. Not at university. At home. I am only child, and I am inheriting my family's condo management company. No one else can do it. I am the only child. Also at that uni, I kind of became a friend with my lecturer. That's good. That's good. I bet he's impressed. I bet he's impressed with you. I bet he's impressed with you. You are already absorbing the knowledge from his juicy brain, knowing you. I bet you are already absorbing the knowledge from his juicy brain. I think I told you once that I wouldn't like to be the one teaching you about programming because of how many things about backend you already knew about. So it would be tough as teacher, like showing you things that could surprise you. There are. We're talking a lot about servers. Yeah, I can bet. I can bet. You must be quite surprised. Because I know how it is with front-end and back-end developing. And pretty much when you start talking about all of those things, he has 3 rack cabinets. Not bad. You do know that in order to get most jobs and get by, and 29 switches in his local network. Wow. But you know, people, that in order to get jobs as that, it's not, I don't think it's mandatory to host so many of your own servers like that. Like, over at the job, they'll ask you to create because I had to interact with those. They'll ask the backend generally to create the. Generally, the server is already made by someone else in the over at the company. Now, I want to start your own university during. What do you mean? Your own company? Okay, during your own company. Amber, you want to be independent. Software solution. You want to be independent, self-employed. Oof. Oof, oof, Ambra, you want to you will have to you will need to have employees. Oof, like my family. No, oof, oof. That is it. You'll have a lot of responsibilities, huh? That's my case. I am self-employed, not in programming. It's like my family has a condo management company, as I'm lawyer and my parents are accountants. In that sense, and my mother is the condo manager. I want to start a hosting company. Okay. Okay. Damn, you want to be independent. Oof. That one is a hard life. I need at least 14 to 20k euros for the start. Okay. That one is tough. Remember, and I'll tell you why. Because when you are self-employed, well, you are on your own. You are on your own. Indeed, you are on your own. It doesn't matter what the company does. If it's like me, condo management, or hosting servers or programming, or anyway, you are on your own. You are on your own. In that sense, Ambra. It can have a lot of reward. Can give you a lot of money. I mean, I'm already thinking about selling access to my current server to my friends at my year. Okay. But no. It's I can tell you that it's a huge risk versus huge reward case. In that sense, you can make a lot of money self-employed without a doubt if it goes well. But you also have a lot of risk. You have to pay for the, as you said, for the initial investment and the maintenance. The employees at a company don't have to worry about those things. Pretty much. Well, you're an entrepreneur, Amra. You got a bit of an entrepreneur. You didn't like something about being employed by a company, in that sense, at programming in the future. What was it that you didn't like? There has to be something, because otherwise you would just go for working on the servers for the company and that's it. I don't really need employees. Okay. But if the company grows at some point, you will. You will. If the company grows. If the company does grow, you will. That's how it starts. My mother thought the same, that she could do it alone, and she realized no, and I'm training precisely because of it. At the beginning, it's like that, but then if it grows, oh well, it gets out of hand. It's like that. It's like that. I tell you, because my family has been self-employed for 3 generations. 3 generations. Except some specific things like me teaching English or doing some jobs for programming, I never needed to work as a lawyer, and people underestimate the risks of being self-employed. Well, till the company will not exceed 200 virtual machines, I think I should be able to handle it by myself. Can be stressful. Can be stressful, Ambra. Can be stressful. Make no mistake. Can be stressful. Can be quite stressful. You didn't like your. I meant you didn't like yourself being employee. You wanted to be your own employer. I see. Like, clearly. That is a tough path in life. It's a tough path in life. Not for most. Hell if my family knows about it. My great-grandpa had like a massive... He was a reseller of gastronomic products. Like, he sold to the shops that would sell to the public. In that sense, he didn't sell to the public directly. He sold to the smaller shops that sold to the public. In that sense, he bought from the factory and sold to the smaller shops because he had the capital to buy a lot. That he did from scratch. He did from scratch, from zero. When he came from Syria to here. I told the story to Patrick. He came with nothing but with the knowledge. I like doing what I'm doing. I know a lot about local networks, server hardware structure. I know how to configure virtual networks, manage RAID hardwares with or without the hot swap. I know how to configure the VMs, the virtual machines. Okay. Well, one thing's for sure, Ambra. You are very good at reverse engineering the servers for the games. So you will never get bored. You have the one knowledge that is needed to run games for yourself. Never host it and profit off of them because you get sued. In that sense, look at some of the World of Warcraft servers like Turtle, WoW, and etc. They get sued every 2 minutes. Never do that. But for yourself, it's absolutely. I mean, you will never get bored. You'll never get bored. I could never master using I could never do the virtual machine once. It's like much more delicate. In that sense, that just downloading a repack and configuring 1 or 2 things. You have to configure many more things. First of all, they have to find you. No, Umbra, no. They have to find you. Umbra always running on the verge of you are like those Western cowboy gangsters that in the United States we're always right at the limit of the law. No, they have no, if it's offline for yourself and you don't profit off of it, it's legal. It's not illegal. Listen, I'm not even allowed to have a server in my dorm. He's like a cowboy, people. He's like a cowboy. Yeah, no, I imagine so. I imagine so. But if it's self-made, yes. From scratch. Well, if it's self-made from scratch, I don't see why. Another thing is the thing is the copyright laws of World of Warcraft or Minecraft or whatever. That's another thing. That you cannot profit off of them. But you can have it offline for your own. The problem is that you put it online, I presume, the server, if it's a server at the dorm. If you have it offline, no. That's or for private use, no. That one is a bit more of a gray zone. Because technically you cannot profit if it's not online. No, I mean the physical server. Yeah, like the... you have like the structure, the racks. You have the racks over at the dorm with the cables. And how do the other students tolerate you doing that? Or you have your own bedroom? You have your own. I presume you're alone. In that sense. Well, at least you live an interesting life, and at the end of the day, you don't damage anyone. It's not like I have one roommate, and how does he put up with the cables, the 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 sound of the servers running, and the heat? I presume it generates heat. That's the problem. I presume some heat it generates. I can say that I have a private heater. Okay. You have a private heater. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, okay. You have a, I can imagine. I can imagine that you have some liquid cooling, something. It's made on E80X board with 2 desktop coolers, and it's not that loud. Okay, 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 okay. And I have 3 windows open 24/7. No, that one I would be, that one would be terrible for me. That one would be. I never had roommates. I studied like at home because I lived like 20 blocks from university. It's the things that, imagine that I lived like, imagine in Warsaw. I lived at the capital of my country. So in that sense, I didn't have those problems. I never had roommates. I never had to live at university. But if I had to live with any person and had the windows open 24/7, don't you have like mosquitoes, bees, like insects getting through the windows? And also, I'm gonna spend a long time at this university. Okay, 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 okay. So I want to get the doctor's degree. Ah, that's a lot. That's a lot of time. It's at least 7 years. Nah, insects aren't getting in. If they were, you wouldn't be the person to complain about it. But well, no worries. You can have those. You can get installed those like filters. You have some filters for the windows that prevent the insects from getting in. For me, those would be mandatory. I would. I cannot. You cannot install them. Okay, okay, okay. So it's insects time. If we are not allowed to. Okay. Okay. No modifications to the structure of the dorm. Okay, okay, okay. Just make sure you don't get expelled if people find about your server. Interesting. You live an interesting life, Amber. You live an interesting life. We cannot even move furniture in. Okay, okay. You cannot even move in furniture. You have an interesting life, Ambra. Like a backend genius at the edge of the law, hosting the Minecraft server for your friends, but at the same time going for the doctor's degree to have your own company. It's an interesting life, huh? It's an interesting life. Has some similarities with mine, especially the part of the grandparents and being self-employed, but a bit more like independent. In that sense, I am not that much like you. That's the one difference. Similar life structure, but a bit more. You want the doctor's degree because you want to become a lecturer. Oh, you have teaching in your heart. Okay, as English teacher, I can relate. And also run my own company. Okay, 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 okay. You like teaching. That's very good, huh? That speaks good about you. Patrick also wants to do something like that. I like that you all like teaching. Oh, that's good. That's amazing. As English teacher, I can tell you that that is that fills the heart. That will fill your heart more than the company. I bet. That will fill your heart more than the company. I bet. You want to teach at the university probably. That's good. That's very good. That's very good. My mother did that with accountant. I need to teach C++ to my friend. Okay, when I studied front end, Ambra, precisely, because she failed programming. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. That's good. That's good, Ambra, because you know why? When I did the front end, I did some courses online at very good ones at codesmith and front-end masters. I did. And I remember the top programmers of the US, one of the lessons, but she's teaching me math in exchange. Alright, it's like a transaction. That's good, besides, because you support each other, and that in a healthy way. In a healthy way. You just have to control the parties. The parties part of it. You just have to control the parties. In that sense. But the top programmer, I remember in one of the classes, I remember it. He said precisely that it's not the same, Ambra. In programming, it's not the same being able to write a code than teaching it. It's not the same. Why? And that's why he always verbalized the code as we went through it. Because only when you can explain the code, you actually can share it with the rest of your team, or as the owner of the company. So it's very important. Also, my other friend, that's a math freak, gave me free 2-hour private lessons of math because I gave him access to my server. You are quite resourceful, Umbra. You are a resourceful individual. In that sense. You are very resourceful. You're already making transactions. Besides, it destroys the myth that in order to be good at programming, you need to be good at math. I hate that myth, because it's false. Like, I was terrible at math, and I was good at programming. And I was quite good. Quite good. Like, I could solve the exercises without ever touching anything prior. So that stigma should be eliminated. That you need to be good at math to be good at programming. In that sense, you need to have you need to be logic oriented. In that sense, but you can be logic oriented without math. Math uses logic, but you can have logic without math. That's the part that most people don't understand, and it's a mistake, if you ask me. Yeah. And you are very resourceful. You are very resourceful. Remember, if I had to give you one advice, humble advice, from someone who programmed front-end, always try to verbalize and do that. That's a great idea, to be a lecturer, to be able to explain the code. Always explain the code internally, what it does for the programming language. If you do that, it's the best. Because of algorithm. Well, I even, after like 5 years of programming, almost failed my programming exercises because of algorithms. Well, those, I was pitted against them without ever... that's a reality. Because of algorithms. Yeah. I remember what it was like creating, what was it? My very first exercise. I remember it was like but I still ended up with max grade because labs and lectures have higher value in the grade. Okay. No, don't feel bad about failing an exercise and those things. After like 5 years of programming, almost failed the programming exercises. No, don't feel bad about almost failing them. It's normal because programming is a very use case thing. You cannot really imagine how to solve an exercise out of nowhere. Like, the context of the program and everything plays a big role. In my case, it was creating functions, functional programming for JavaScript. I have final 5.0, 4.0 on exercises, 5.0 on lectures, and 5.0 on labs. Then my friend ended up with 4.5 final, 4 on lectures. And what's the max score? 5. The max score is 5. Then, yeah, top is 5. It's from 1 to 5. Oh, that's quite different. Ours was from 1 to 10. Pretty much all the time. Yeah, top. No, not 1 to 5. Oh? It's 2 to 5. Oh, okay, you cannot have 2. You cannot have 1. That is weird. That is weird, Umbra. The weirdest system I've seen, in fact. Why? Great question. From 2 to 5? It's not even an even scoring. 2 is failing and 1 doesn't exist. Ah. Weird. Weird system, because there's not many options in between. You know what I mean? Like 3, 4 and 5. 2 failing, but for approving is 3, 4 and 5. Like good, very good, and excellent. That's pretty much it. Nothing in between. Why such? And this is our equation for final grade Oshina. C1 for... What the fuck? What the fuck, Umbra? You pretend me to understand that? You're giving me a bad representation of the Polish qualification system. You are giving me a bad representation of it. Selling me a bad image. What the fuck? What the fuck? And what does it mean? Any of those letters and numbers. Why bad image? Because it's difficult to comprehend. Like, compare that with me telling you 1 to 10. 1 to 10 is easy to understand. Oshena is great. C is exercises. L is labs. W is lectures. Ah, the letters of the word compose it. Okay. Oshina is the total grade. C is exercises. L is the lab. And what is labs? A laboratory. They put you in a laboratory. Labs. Lectures I understand about programming. It has to be writing on the board about math. Exercises I get it. It's on the computer doing algorithms, functions, and those. But the L is not in the word Oshina, by the way. I'm even confused as to understand which subject it is. Why bad image? Because it's like not standard qualification. Like, for example, I tell you how it was in my university. Roman law. You can get a grade from 1 to 10. The exams, the middle term, and the final exams. And the final term exams. And etc. 1 to 10, then another subject, then another, and like that 53, and boom, that's it. That's a career. Like each subject had middle term and final term exams. In labs, we make programs, lectures, and our lecturer explains the structure of C++, exercises, The lecturer explains the algorithms and we make them. Okay. And what's the difference with the exercise then? Nothing. You also make exercises. Okay. Okay. For the final grade, you then compute all of the different portions of the things that you did. Okay. So it's like the exercises, which is C, divided by 4 plus the labs. Okay. Divided by 4 plus the lectures divided by 2. Like that. One class is split into 3 classes. Okay, interesting, huh? Interesting. Quite different. And my university was tough, huh? I studied for 12 hours. I was telling to Patrick the other day over at Discord. Precisely. I studied for 12 hours for law school. Every day. Plus I had English. Like, I sat for the CAE at 18 in the first year of university as well. Well, for me the only hard thing is math. Yeah, I can imagine. No, I didn't study math to program. I begin... That's the thing. We have English on the second semester. You know, but I didn't have English over at my university because I presented the papers that I had passed the CAE at 18. Otherwise, I would have had English, of course. In my case, I had extreme English since I was 7. I did it at the same time as high school and university. Separated homework, separated exercises, separated everything. I finished English, then I would proceed with high school homework, or it was like on top at home. Brutal. Oh well. It was effective. Quite effective. It was quite effective. Okay, people. I started late today, so I'll leave it here for now. Ambra, before I go, if you'd like, always remember. Also, I don't really like going on to any of my classes. I just go there to sleep and then submit the projects. No, I get it. I was exactly like I didn't sleep. I was a bit more I kept track of the psychological profile of the teacher in front of me, of the lecturer, as to not get as to not get nagged. But yeah, the important things, then I did them back when I came home. I can relate to that. I think classes serve no purpose, that people learn better on their own. But some need it, but some cannot focus. Because some cannot focus, Ambra. In my case, I didn't have that problem like you, but some people just cannot focus if they don't have the class. They just cannot focus then. They need the class, in that sense. I agree with you that it was a waste of time. I mean, I'm barely learning anything, only math. No, well, but then when you go to other years, you will have to start paying attention to that. I get what you mean. For me, it was also a bit like that. Like, then I came back home and said, well, why did I waste my time with him repeating the things that I'm reading? Generally, that happens. I can get you. I felt like wasted, and I had 8 hours. The rest I just read the project, and then I know how everything works, and and you just submit the homework. I know most of the things on on the other semesters. Yeah, well, no, but there has to be something in that sense. Well, that's good. You have the upper hand there. Oh, good. Oh, good. It's good. It's better like that. It's better like that. That happens to me with what I'm doing right now. That I'm doing the condo management. I'm learning for the degree, uh, for the certification, and being a lawyer, I get most of it. I could pass 70% of the tests from all 7 semesters right now. Well, that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Then maybe there's something that can surprise you. Then maybe there's something that can surprise you. Don't think like that, because even if when we know a lot, then there are things that in programming there's always something that gets us by surprise. In that sense, imagine if they make you, I don't know, instead of the back end, if they make you do the front end with functional programming, in which you have to create functions that create other functions, like, for example, the opposite of the back end, and those things. Imagine that. Setting up the front end server of the application instead. Those things. Imagine that. Just like it was for me the backend. That's so imagine. Anyways, I bet you are more than prepared. The only thing that gets me by a surprise is math and physics. Yeah, because you don't understand why you need them for programming, which you actually don't. I get you. Right now. Well, you will have some other challenges. But you are prepared for them, Ambra. I also bought a domain yesterday. Ambra, I think your parents don't understand all of the things that you do. Probably. All of the things that you do. You bought a domain yesterday. Ah. Instead of... well... And what are you going to host? You bought a domain. My lecturer last name is Sajja. I bought a domain with the same Sajajoni. Sajajoni.pl. Sajajoni. Sorry, I bet you must be laughing at how I'm trying to pronounce them, but yeah, it's a thing. It's the thing. Try reading Latin instead, and you'll have the same effect. Sajajoni. It means like Sajaj, Sajajed. Everything is with C Z. This Sajajed. Lovely. Buying his own domain at 18, 19. I like Latin, but it must sound weird for you. I know how to pronounce it. Oh, you don't say. Really? You know the language of my ancestors, of the Roman Empire? Really? Of us Italians? Ah, it sounds beautiful to me. Good. See, people. See, even in Germanic origins, in countries of Germanic origins, they can see the beauty of the Roman Empire. Not weird. They can see the beauty of the legacy of the Roman Empire. See. Thank you for that one, Ambra. Thank you for that one. It is the language of my Roman ancestors. Of all of our Roman ancestors, at the end of the day. Ambra, if you'd first of all, good luck in your final exams. I wanted to learn Latin on my own. I don't know what much usage you could give to it, but yes. For example, we can somehow understand it. I can somehow understand it like naturally without learning. Spaniards and Italians can understand Latin somehow, some of the words, without learning. The same for Portuguese. Spaniards and Italians, we can somehow understand it without reading. It's like the English with the Dutch. It's like that. Since it's derived, we understand some of the words. So pretty much, that we were united under the banner of Ambra. I wish you the best of luck in university. I am happy that you don't feel bad about any temporary jobs. Like my nickname comes from that. Well, but your nickname could be anything, Ambra. Ah, yeah, Ambra from Shadow. Yes, I know. And Solis, what could Ambra is Shadow, and Solis is either the sun. I don't know, but it's either the sun or something like that. Because in Spanish, sun is sol, and you say solis. So it's like shadow sun or something like that. If I had to guess, I'm guessing, I don't know. It's just Ambra Shadow, Sally Sun. God, see, told you. It's like that. 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 Well, nickname, the Twitch name. It's like that. See, Solis is a different way of saying sun in Latin. No. I know. In Spanish, is sol. Is S-O-L. So imagine if it's similar. Is S-O-L, sun. So imagine if it's derived from it directly. And it's my way of saying eclipse. Oh. You like eclipses? Then you like eclipses. You like eclipses. That's fascinating. Good. You look at that. I thought that in Northern Europe you all were a bit more disconnected from Southern EU culture. This is pretty Southern EU. It's pure Roman Latin. It was a language of Roman Catholicism, pretty much. So good. Now I feel bad of being ignorant about the Polish origins. Ambra, thank you from the bottom of my heart for visiting the other week and today. Wish you good luck in your final exams. Do not give up. Chase your dreams. That you are a very intelligent guy. You're a very intelligent guy. So chase your dreams. Do not give up. There will be moments in which I predict that the knowledge of the university that will demand from you will overwhelm you a bit, like it's done with all of us. But chase your dreams, because you're an intelligent person, just like I tell Patrick about his own career. You are at 18 years, 20 years, both of you, and chase it. Chase it because you are both intelligent. Thanks. And Ambra, needless to say, I am 20 right now. Okay, you are 20. You are 20. You are 1 year older than Patrick. 21 this year. You're right in the beginning of a long struggle in life. You're right at the I'm 30. I turned 30 this year. So 9 years of difference. In that sense. So okay. You are 1 year older than Patrick. Patrick is 19. Okay. I think Patrick is 19. You are 1 year older than him. Okay. Ambra, it would be a pleasure for me if you join the Discord server. It would be a pleasure. Even if you don't talk, I have a lot of people who don't talk, but I like keeping contact with my friends. Like that. I have the Discord more to keep contact with my friends rather than for Twitch. So if you like, do so. If not, no worries. DC, you disconnected. You disconnected. Exclamation, disconnection. You told me that it happened to you with my stream. Wait, aren't I in the Discord? No, you are not. Or which one is your profile? No, you are not. You didn't know. I know. No. Just in case. Which one is your profile? Nah, this is for Discord. Ah, no, 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 I don't have commands. No, 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 I don't have chat commands. I don't have chat commands. No, 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 no. Some streams have it. Yeah, 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 I know. No, sorry, I don't have time for that. It's just clicking on the banner and it lets you join. Like the Ambrasol is on Discord. Yeah, then you are not in mine. In mine, you are not. You just click the banner and it lets you enter. Just use the same name as nickname for the server. If you are not, because I have friends from the US, from Star Wars: The Republic that I play offline, for example. I have, and then I have all of you from the stream. So I like keep all of my friends like there. I use my own stream server to also keep my friends, to not lose contact. Because it happened to me in 2015 with my friends from the US in Star Wars: The Republic, that they had to go to university, myself as well. Uh, I had to do other things in life, and I lost contact, and that's why I keep it there. So if you'd like, join there so you can see the rest of the people besides. So there, so I don't lose contact. I like keeping. I use it like a contact list. Besides, because in that sense, uh, I keep it as a contact list, all grouped together. Joined. Oh well, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, because like that I have everything in a contact list. I have everything in a contact list. There you will see Patrick, District, all of the great guys. Good, good, like that. Because I remember when you told me last year that you were going to university, I said, "Fuck, I should have told him about the Discord, so that way he I don't lose contact with him for 6 months or years upon years." So good. So a smiley sheep. Chase your dreams, Amra. Smiley, smiley sheep. Thank you. All the love from here as well. Because I remember the first time I chatted with you, you were a bit depressed. You were a bit depressed. I remember the first time, because you had seen over at high school, I think, some videos about executions or something like that that your classmates showed you. It was something like that the very first time you joined, and I'm glad to see that you found a good way in life. That you found a good way in life. Chase your dreams. If you want a company, chase it. Chase it. Chase your dreams. Don't risk all of your capital. Nah, I was seeing videos like that as a kid. That one, that part you told me. That one exactly. That part as a kid. Okay, okay, it wasn't at school. I didn't know. That one, that part, that left you like a bit depressed there. So do not fret. Do not fret. I I, I don't know about go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, 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 yes. That it doesn't. It doesn't touch me, to be honest. No, no, no. I know, but you were a bit like there, like a bit depressed with it. I remember the first time we talked. So good, good that you came together. That you got your stuff together. I'm glad to see that you're chasing your dreams, Ambra. Glad to see it. It's good. Just the same I tell to Patrick every day. That you chase your dream. Fight for them. Fight for them, and treat your I started taking vitamin B3. Okay, okay, good, good with those ones. It's really good for the nervous system. Okay, 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 good, 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 good. Just never do at university. Even if people I tell this to you as if you were my own child, just like I tell Patrick. If at university anyone tells you to smoke some weed that otherwise you are a coward or some stupid thing, you turn around, ignore the illiterate, tell him to go to shit, uh, to go take a shit, and don't smoke the weed. Nicotinic acid is something everyone should take. Do not smoke the weed. Do not smoke the weed. Do not smoke the weed. Don't do those things. Don't ruin your brain. It goes straight to the front left lobe of the brain, Ambra. Do not do those if you are offered them, because I know how universities are. I smoked the weed a few times in high school. No, bad. Don't do it. Don't do it. Goes to the front left lobe of the brain, Ambra. Don't do it. If I tell it to you as if you were my own children, don't do it. Don't do it because you will need that brain if you want to make a company. That is the only thing that can prevent you from achieving your dreams. Don't do it. Even if people tell you a coward, it does nothing, this and this and this, don't do it. Don't, because you will need that brain in perfect shape. And the smoke of it goes to the front left lobe of the brain. It destroys mid and long-term memory, and you will need it. And you will need it. Eh? The advice of an idiot. The advice of an idiot. But well, you have it in your brain at least now. The advice of the idiot is in your brain. Just that. Don't do those things because I know that in university at that age they offer you and etc. and the social stigma and etc. Ignore the person. Focus as you are doing on your career, on working. Treat well your med student friend, your lab interest. Treat her very well. Treat her well. Take care of her. Help each other. Mutual respect. And there your life will be amazing. Yeah? Your life will be amazing. Okay? Wish you the best life ever, Ambra. That you get your own company and you have mutual respect with the med student. I want to invite her to Valentine's Day. Oh, that's so cute. That's amazing. That's so cute and amazing. See that? Ignore the weed. The weed you burn it. You burn the weed and you go with her. That's good. Got her a teddy bear in med outfit. Oh, that's amazing. That is beautiful. See that. You focus on that. Keep going like that. Like that. Through that path. You are walking the right path. The weed, you burn it. Anyone offers you weed, you burn it. I tell it to you as I would tell my children. You burn it. You tell the people that he's a putrid, illiterate idiot, and you ignore the person, and you keep doing those. That's right. Keep doing those. Keep working your part-time job until you can get independent and you and do the company. Keep studying. Good. That's amazing. See, life is simple. If you do things well, like that, it should be like that. Good. You have a good heart. Have a very good heart, Amber. Have a very good heart. That is lovely to hear. See, we've lost this in society, people. That's why I get so I get so happy about it because we've lost these things in society. These are sane things, and this is how society should be, not smoking the weed. So you burn the weed, and you keep going there. Keep focusing on those. You are in the good path, and I'm proud of it, Ambra. Well, I have to go to have dinner, Ambra. It was a real pleasure. Thanks as well to Patrick if you are watching until the end. Thanks to you, Ambra, for visiting, for appreciating Latin, and keep going. That you are well. Good night, good night. You are going through the right path. It's good to know. You made my day very happy. See you next time, Ambra, and thanks for joining the Discord as well. So I have all of the contacts, like right there. Bye bye, Ambra. See you soon.